We keep on moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down. We ain't slowing down. We keep on moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. Yeah. No, we ain't slowing it down.
Let's go. We ain't slowing down, baby. Come and show me how. Gotta do it right now. You know you gotta hold me down. Can I let the moment pass? Good things they never last. Pull up in a whip, you know I had to hit the gas. Yeah, that's premium. Pull up with a team and I'm ain't worried about the other side. Know that they ain't beating. I'm on everything I love. Work to the man above. Keep it cool, calm, collected. At this point, you get the message. Life is hectic, but we gotta keep it rolling. No, gotta keep it grooving, keep it moving like we stole it. Though, rolling with the punches, giving hits like we are Interscope. Even though I'm clocking, punching in, I'm independent though. Staying prayed up, ain't nothing gon' phase us. Ain't never gon' let a lame say what they just made up. I never take a pay cut, we getting what we worth in. I never change the blueprint cause we know it's really working.
Keep on moving,
Moving,
we keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down,
Keep
never
on moving,
moving.
we keep on moving along.
moving, keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't
Keep it rolling, keep
slowing
it moving,
it
we
down.
ain't never gon' lose it. Cause we in it for the movement. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Don't play into their amusement. If we trying, we ain't dying. Never sleep, never, never sleep, never. The moment that you rest your head, they think they can't compete. If you gotta skip steps, then the plan is not complete. Get your reps in, get your reps in, get your. Never rest on a past success. You gotta love what you do if you tryna be the best.
Keep on moving,
Moving,
we keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it rolling.
We ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down, never
Moving,
moving.
we keep on moving
Keep it
along.
moving, keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling. Keep it rolling, keep it moving. We ain't never gonna lose it.
Who's been to Epstein Island, mate? Oh yes, and let's not forget it, they've all been there. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever and whatever you're doing in the world. I hope you are well. I hope you've had a nice day. I hope it's not too hot for you if you're in the UK or wherever you are. It's got really hot again. I'm melting. I am absolutely boiling. So if there's a humming in the background, it's a fan that's trying to keep. It's my only fan as it goes. I know. At least I have got a fan. You know what I mean? So it's not all bad, is it? Do you know what I mean? So who's here? Who's here? Too Shy is here, everybody. Oh yes, Too Shy, straight in. And then the wonderful, the beautiful, the marvellous, the incredible. I need to find some more words for her, really. Beth Gish is here, everybody. Oh yeah. There are other words, but I can't use them on YouTube. And then Bezik is here, everybody. Yes, wonderful, wonderful stuff. And Nazulium is here. Brilliant. And Nazulium's coming with the comments straight away. The government takes half my chocolate milk money, then they tax me on the chocolate milk I buy. We live in a worldwide prison. It just seemed like that. I saw a thing the other day, and it said, I think it was Jeff Berwick. I don't know if you watched The Dollar Vigilante. And I was watching, and was it Jeff Berwick who said it? I think it was. He said, once upon a time, there were slaves, right? When they had slaves, so the slaves would be given accommodation, they'd be given their food, and they'd be given everything they needed, and they had to work, right? But they were slaves, okay? The only difference he said now is you're not kept in, right? But you have to pay for where you live. You have to pay for your own food. You have to pay all these taxes, and you have to go to work to do it. So it's sort of like just slavery in another way. It sort of is like that if you want, but unless you can manage to create your own business and then try and live on your own terms. That's what I try to do. That's what I'm trying to do. But enough about that. Enough about that. That is not why you're here. I don't know why you're here, as a matter of fact. But I'm glad you are. Anyway, and if you've only just come across this stream, hello, welcome. And remember to press the thumbs up thing. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe if you like this sort of thing. All right? Okay. And Gun is here, everybody. Oh, yeah. People are turning up, which is really nice to see. So where are we then? Where are we in this crazy world we're all living in? Crazy ain't the word, is it? It's gone beyond a bit crazy, I think. It's really weird. I've got a catering job on Saturday. And yesterday I went to a supermarket where they have their own petrol station, and the petrol station was shut. And I thought, are they run out of fuel? Because I needed to fill my van up today. What's Gun? We're here because you cool. Thank you very much, Gun. That's very kind of you. And being self-employed is a bit hard, mate. It's all right. It's all right being self-employed if you're making the dollar. If you're not making enough money, then it really is bad. But I know all about that far too well, to be honest. So what I was saying, I don't know. I read this. See, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't read the live stream while I'm trying to talk, because it just puts me right off. Too many laughs, Gaz. Oh yes, fuel. So I've got to fill my van up, right? So I had to fill my van up, and I thought, because I've got to do a catering job on Saturday, and I need a full tank of diesel. And I thought, what if I get to the garage where I normally go, and they haven't got any fuel? What am I going to do then? But they had loads of fuel, so it was all right, so I'm okay. So that was nothing to worry about. And I'm surprised we haven't run out of fuel yet. I don't know what's going on. They're supposed to be blowing up all this stuff, aren't they? All these oil refineries, and the straits are all shut, and everything is all over the place. But everything just seems sort of normal, even though I feel like something's about to happen, but I don't know. I don't know. Do you feel like that? I know I do. Anyway, what have we got for you today? It's going to be more Burnham and his circle of whatever they are. Anyway, let's have a quick look at this then. Let's have a look. So, what have we got? We have got Zelensky visit sends clear message of support for Ukraine, Burnham says. Yeah, okay, so, we've got a new bloke, but it's basically the same bloke, isn't it? There's a new bloke, but the same bloke. So, what are we saying? So, Zelensky was on his way to Americano land, for those of you that don't know, yesterday, I think it was. And he stopped off in the UK for the reasons, because he had reasons to, of course, because of the reasons. So, let's have a look what happened. Andy Burnham has said the UK is with Ukraine 100%. As Vladimir Zelensky became the Prime Minister's first international visitor since entering number 10. So the first one was a little shalom all along. A little shalom all along who's at war with Russia. That's the first one. Does that tell you something? It does me. Burnham said the visit of the Ukrainian president was designed to send a very clear message about the UK's continued support. To put it simply, Vladimir, I want you to know that we've got your back. You can count on me, and you can count on us. You can count on the UK for as long as it takes, he said, at a naval base in Portsmouth on Monday. Yeah, until it starts really kicking off with the old Russians. I don't know how many people are going to want to be dragged into the military net in the UK to go and into the meat grinder against the mighty Russian military machine. I don't know. I know I don't. I won't do it. I don't know if any of you will do it. Yeah. Oh, you want the Imagine Burnham?
Imagine no more.
Yeah, there's your man. Sorry about that, Beth Gish. I forgot all about that little skiddy little thing there. So, addressing Zelensky, hang on. Zelensky, meanwhile, said Ukraine relationship with the UK was stronger than ever. Addressing Zelensky, Burnham said, I am personally with you 100%. We'll remember that on the battlefield then. We'll remember that you're with him 100% when people start getting called up, innit? To go and fight for the Ukraine against the Russians. We'll remember that you're with him 100%. So off you trot. Yeah, that won't happen, will it? Mr. President, and I will honour every commitment this country has made to Ukraine in full. Burnham added that he intended to visit Ukraine soon, following the very warm meeting between the pair. The PM also announced the sharing of intellectual property behind the UK's new Stone Cloak electronic warfare systems, enabling Ukraine to produce the technology at scale. Burnham said it will help them to hit their targets and help save Ukrainian lives. It will kill other people, but that's all right. They're not Ukrainian, so that's okay. Don't worry about that. The Stone Cloak jammers are the size of a tablet computer and are designed to block the detection of any drones they are fitted to. The Ministry of Defence has already given thousands of the devices to Ukrainian forces to bolster their drone operations, and we've been seeing that with effect, haven't we? They're actually going in, bombing all sorts in Russia. Downing Street said the following its deployment in Ukraine, the technology will be built into the UK next generation of long-range weapons. It said this would include Project Breakstop, a government program to develop low-cost cruise missiles, self-propelled guided weapons that fly like normal aircraft for much of their flight. During Monday's visit, they ain't got hypersonic missiles though, have they? We haven't got hypersonic missiles. Apparently the Russians have got hypersonic missiles that can't be stopped. And they can weave about. So you can't track them, you can't stop them. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this is all going. Well, I do. I think it's all going to mass destruction, personally. During Monday's visit, the two leaders also met more than 200 Ukrainian military personnel who have spent the last 3 weeks taking part in a maritime exercise in the UK. We can't get any more connected to this, can we? We can't. So we're absolutely at war with Russia at this point, aren't we? Did you vote for that? Oh, you never had a vote, did you? No, 25,000 votes, because you got to... Imagine if you had a vote. Imagine
no more.
Imagine it. Just imagine it, because that's what you're going to be able to do. During Monday's visit, the two leaders... Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right. Exercise Sea Breeze is aimed at strengthening war-fighting capabilities and counter-mine measures in the Black Sea. Burnham also said the UK would support Ukraine to get a full and unconditional ceasefire. We will keep up the pressure, pushing for a ceasefire and a resumption of negotiations, which must have Ukraine at the table and include a strong voice for Europe too. Britain's backing of Ukraine has been consistent since Russia's invasion 4 years ago, and the UK committed 25 billion in funding for the country's war-fighting efforts. At this point, I just want to bring something into the picture. This is the UK debt clock. I don't know if you've seen this. That is the UK debt clock right there, right? The UK national debt grows at a rate of £5,170 per second. And it says underneath there, it says UK national debt surpassed 1 trillion. Mainstream media headlines today are focused on Britain's record national debt, which just surpassed £1 trillion, a figure that can only exponentially increase unless the entire mechanism of government finance is overhauled. The truth, however, is much worse. Factoring in all liabilities, including state and public sector pensions, the real national debt is closer to 4.8 trillion, some £78,000 for every person in the UK. Imagine we never had that debt. Imagine that.
Imagine no more.
Imagine we never had that debt. Imagine that. Imagine what you could do with all that money. You know what I mean? If we never had all that debt. So we've announced fresh funding worth... Right, hang on, where am I? Oh, no, there's fresh funding. Oh, my God, there's more. Okay, so the UK has committed 25 billion in funding for the country's war-fighting efforts. In one of his first calls after becoming Prime Minister last Monday, Burnham spoke to Zelensky and invited him to visit the UK at the earliest opportunity. Zelensky wrote on X shortly afterwards, "I truly appreciate that support for Ukraine and the people will remain steadfast." Burnham's predecessor, Sir Keir Starmer, visited Kiev on his final day as Labour leader. Yeah, that was his last thing he did. Yeah, he went there. Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he did that. During that trip, he announced fresh funding worth £255 million for Ukraine's fight against Russia and was awarded Ukraine's Order of Freedom. Asked if he was concerned about changes of leadership in Britain and in France next year, Zelensky said, "Of course I'm afraid of changes. Of course we are afraid because we are in a war each day. But again, the priority is the relation between nations, not just between people. I'm sure that these relations will not change, or we have to do our best not to lose such very good relations." He added, "I hope we will never lose strong relations with the UK during or after the war," Sakir replied. "You won't." And then the music broke out, all lovey-dovey. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, a bit like that. A bit like that for me anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so we're giving more money to the Ukraine. We're absolutely committed to the Ukraine. So if things go really rapidly into a hot war within Europe, we will absolutely be involved in all of that. All of it. And we haven't even had a chance. Well, nobody's... Well, I don't know. Do you agree with it? Do you agree with Slava Ukrainia? Do you agree with it? I don't know. I don't know if you do or not. I personally, I said from the beginning, the UK should keep out of it. It's not our war, right? It's not our war. We should keep out of it. We shouldn't be sending money. Give aid if aid is needed. And if that's the case to either side, really, right, if you're going to do it. And then try and be diplomatic and bring peace to the region. But we didn't, did we? Everybody just went full on Europe. It's like the system wants to break Russia. That's how it seems to me. I'm pretty sure that's the agenda anyway. It does clearly seem like that to me. Anyway, we'll go on now. A bit more money involved and the government, right? We've got this. I saw this today. Powell says student loan system at top of in tray. Now,
Imagine.
Here he goes.
Imagine no more.
Yeah, we have. Now go away. Now, I just wanted to get into this. You might be thinking, what are you going into student debt for? Because, right, I don't think, once upon a time in the UK, for those of you that are old enough to remember, education was free. It was free, right? Education was free. It benefits the nation if you've got free education. If you've got the brightest minds that are going to university, the brightest minds, they get there because they can. Because they're good at, they're clever. Do you know what I mean? They're like little AIs. But they don't work like that anymore. Now, they all have to get into debt. Because that's how it all works, isn't it? It's all about money. It's all about money and debt. And they have to keep the debt going. Because that's how the whole system's built. It's like a Ponzi scheme, in my opinion. So anyway, what have we got here? So we got a new... We've got rid of... oh, no, this one. She's the... I think this one is... She's the... I think she's the head of education now. I'm not sure. Something like that. Lucy Powell has said she wants to make sure the student loan system is fair. There's a reason behind this story. I'm showing this, and you'll see in a minute, right? It's fair. And that the issue is at the top of her in tray as the new education secretary. She's the new education secretary. Labour's deputy leader told the BBC she stood by comments she made in February that the interest rates graduates with Plan 2 loans were paying were egregious, right? So they've been, well, basically it sounds like they've been ripped right off, right? She said she was committed to looking at the issue, although acknowledged she can't make any promises about changes. What? Why? So in February, this is why. This is what I mean. In February, she was all against, like, these things are bad. It's egregious, right, for students to get into such debt and all what happens with it. But she can't do. Now she's in charge of it, but she can't really say if she can do anything about it. All right. She can't make any promises. Of course she can't. Plan 2 loans were taken out by students in England between September 2012 and July 2023 and are still issued in Wales. Graduates pay back what they earn above the repayment threshold at a rate of 9%. In November last year, Then Chancellor Rachel Reeves said the repayment threshold for students with Plan 2 loans would be frozen at £29,385 between 2027 and 2030 instead of rising with inflation. The change would result in students starting to repay their loans sooner than they would otherwise have done, and their rising salaries leading to greater repayments. Campaigners have called for that decision to be reversed. Reeves later said the government's measures were fair and proportionate for getting the balance right between tax and spending. In April, the government said interest on some student loans in England, including Plan 2, would be capped at 6%. Speaking to Matt Chorley on BBC Radio 5 Live, Powell said she was very familiar with the issue as her eldest child has a Plan 2 loan. She said, I think it's not just about the threshold of when people start to pay it back, but also the interest rate, which is RPI, retail prices index, plus 3%. I think I've called it in the past egregious, and I'm not going to change my opinion on that just because I am now the Secretary of State. The government has committed to a review of that. It's very much at the top of my in tray as the Secretary of State, and I want to make sure we look at this. So it's fair for students. Well, if it's just make it free, just have exams, right? And see, the other thing, right, with all this education is AI. AI. Elon Musk has even said, right? Elon Musk. So these kids are getting in all this debt, right, for the future. But the future is AI. But they're still going to have a debt. And Elon Musk said, somebody was talking to Elon Musk and they said, will there be surgery, will AI, will it take like a surgeon's job? And he basically said, yeah. He said at the moment, to get a good surgeon, this is what Elon Musk, basically what he was saying, right? He said, but robots in the future with AI, he said at the moment you've got surgeons that are highly skilled, but there's very few of them, right? So a really good surgeon, there's few of them. They're out there, but there's not loads of them. He said with AI and robots, there'll be loads of them. There'll be loads of them. Loads and loads, as many as you want, because they're just robots with AI that can do the surgery, right? And then this guy said to him, so these students now that are in medical college and getting into all that debt and everything, he said, is it really worth them doing it? And Elon Musk said, no, not really. And then Elon Musk said, in actual fact, all education, it's pointless, no point. There's no point. There's no point. But see, that's the whole point of this. They're talking about summer as if they're not in 2026 looking going forward with the technology. Can't these people see this? That the technology is already here. I don't know if you've been using AI, right? And I know there's a lot of controversy about it. It uses too much water. It uses these data centers they're using. And what are they really for? And is it to get us all like... I don't know. But it's here. And it's not going to go away. It just isn't. The whole system might crash financially. Just like the .com. Remember the .com thing? That all crashed, didn't it? Loads of companies went under. Loads of people lost loads of money. But what happened? We still had the internet. We still had all the technology. And the technology's grown ever since. So even though these things do crash and companies will burn, but the technology will carry on. It will just keep going because it's just how it goes. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how and why. I'm a simple machine. I turn tea into piss, right? But it will. It will just keep going. The system will just keep going, and the technology. And when you've got the richest man in the world who knows he's on the cutting edge of all this technology, and he's basically saying education's pointless, why are they getting into so much debt? Why? Imagine, we can't even imagine.
Imagine no more.
Yeah, you won't be able to imagine. You can't imagine what 5 years' time's going to look like. If we're all still here, if they've not blown us all to bits or whatever with their lunacy. But if they haven't, the technology in 5, can you imagine? In 5 years' time, what it's going to look like, what the landscape of technology is going to look like? No, I don't think anybody can. If anybody can sort of see it, it'll be people like Elon Musk, because they're at the cutting edge of it. But for us normies, so what's going to be the point of a general education? Where are they going to get a job? What are they going to be doing? We'll move on to that in another bit, in a minute, right? Because there's another bit to this. So anyway, Powell described it as a real cost of living issue for young people, adding they're paying high repayments and never ever paying off the capital of their student loan. Well, that's the point, isn't it? It's just another way of generating loads of money. If you're in a city or a town, a reasonably sized town, I think you were probably going to be noticing that there'll be, if you've got a university, right, sort of a university type place, there'll be loads of accommodation being built, all new accommodation with like dormitories or whatever they've got, flats or whatever they are, because it's a massive earner. It's a machine that makes money. That's what it's for. That is it. Pressed on whether it is something she will look at, Powell replied, yes, I can't make any promises, but it needs looking at. She can't make any promises, though. MPs on the Treasury Committee this month said comparing student loan repayments to phone contracts or cinema tickets amounted to mis-selling by government. It came after a BBC investigation found the government compared student loan repayments to £30 a month phone contracts in promotional presentations to teenagers a decade ago. Earlier this year, Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch said she would cut the rate of interest charged on Plan 2 loans, capping it at RPI only. The current RPI rate is 3%. Why didn't they do that when they were in then? I'm sure student loan. Who brought the student loans in? Who brought all that? Who did all this? Was that the Conservative? I mean, should I get Nexus in? Do we want to resolve that? Tell me if you want to resolve that question, because I don't know the answers to that. Let's have a look at Ukraine has made Zelensky very, very rich, says Gunn. Yes, Gunn. Come on, how does a leader get this rich during a war, for sake, says Gunn. I agree. I agree. Bezic said, I make enough, but it's the hours. Getting old now, pal. Same as that, mate. Same as that. You just gotta. I think the answer to it all is try and live within your means, which is difficult, because the thing is, I found this at a young age. They've got you on a hamster wheel. We all get on this hamster wheel. We're told if you work hard and you do all the right things, you'll get on, and in the future it'll be all right. But loads of us now are at ages where we're like, what is, like when the COVID destroyed how many businesses, little businesses and stuff? For what? For what? And so you've got no control. We've got no real control at all. But you just got to try and live within your means, haven't you? Basically, live like, well, I try and live like I'm skint, because mostly I always am. Too many laughs, Gaz. All right, so that then brings me into this bit, right? So this is a sort of a continuation of that. So then I saw this and I was like, what?
What?
Yeah, I was like that. I was sort of like, what? Anyway, have a look at this. Schools to offer technical subjects to pupils from age 14 in England, Burnham says. Yeah, Burnham says, right. What's this? COVID was a test run, says Gunn. I absolutely agree. Nazulium, I like eating Russia pie. When you've done, it washes. What? Hang on, I'm lost here. I don't know what Gunn's. And it's not Gunn actually. It's Nazulium. I like eating Russian pie. When you're done, it washes the dishes. Anyway, schools to offer technical subjects to pupils from age 14 in England, Burnham says. this is weird as well, right? So on the one hand, they're talking about this load of debt, and on the other hand, now they want to teach. How old are they? From ages 14, right? Secondary school pupils in England will be able to study subjects like manufacturing and AI, in addition to core academic learning under reforms outlined by Prime Minister Andy Burnham. The government said the courses, which would be available from year 10, would be linked to local industries and designed to give children a clearer pathway into work. Data published this year showed more than 1 million young people across the UK were not in education, employment or training, the highest level in more than 12 years. Few details. Here we go. See, it's the details with this bloke, isn't it? Because all you've got to do with him is you've got to...
Imagine.
You've got to imagine it.
Imagine no more.
You have to imagine it. So you've got to use your imagination, right? Because there's no meat on the bones in these things. You've got to imagine it. Right, so a few details have been published about how the new vocational courses would work in practice, and it's not clear how they would operate in areas with low industrial activity. Right? Fucking hell. The BBC understands that the government expects the new pathways into work to be up and running in some areas by 2028. In 2028? So over a year, potentially 2 years away. What? Look at the technology. It changes every week. And these people are talking about in 2 years' time. They might, in some areas, be starting. Oh, you fuckers. Speaking at a train manufacturing site in Derby, Burnham said, "We've had a system built for too long around the university route, and it sends a message to some young people that they're some kind of second-class citizens, and it's just not right. They need an education system that works for them as well, that offers a path to all young people that's balanced between academic and technical." The Prime Minister said he was on a mission to reduce the number of young people not in education and employment or training, known as NEET, but declined to put a target date on his ambition. Of course he did. You've got to imagine it. The trend is rising at the moment, so the first thing I've got to do is to stop that rise, he said. Right, in 2028 then. Yeah, okay. It's hard to put a firm date on the moment when you can say there are fewer than now. However, Shadow Work and Pension Secretary Helen Watley said while there was a broad consensus on improving vocational education, it was not a big, bold announcement. No, it isn't really, is it? She told BBC Breakfast, "What's going on there is a drastic shortage of jobs because Labour's policies over the last couple of years have killed job opportunities for young people. This announcement will not solve that." Right, which it won't. Under the proposals, pupils would continue to study core maths, English and science, but would also have the option of combining the subjects with technical education. I don't know how that would work. How does that work? You're doing, all right, maths. Yeah, you're going to need maths to be doing technical stuff. What exactly is this technical stuff? You know what I mean? Why don't they teach people plumbing, brickwork? I mean, I did brickwork when I was at school. We had brickwork. We did a couple of hours making walls and stuff, and cavity walls and arches and stuff. But I never wanted to be a builder. They said I was really good at it. To be honest, I was. I just took to a trowel and knocking up muck and throwing bricks together and pointing them up. I took to it like that. And I ain't being funny. The truth of it is, the teacher at the time said, he asked me my name. I told him my name. He said, "I'll remember your name." Because I think he thought I was going to be in the building trade. No, do you know what the weather's like here in the winter? I was like, no, I don't mind working outdoors, but no, I ain't bracing all that weather on a building site. No, and I, to be honest, I mean, builders are all right and that, and I know a few of them, but no, not my cup of tea. I'm more of a loner. I don't want to be on a building site. You know what I mean? I just didn't fancy it. I hope none of you are builders, by the way. I suppose you are. But if you like it, you like it. If you're good at it, you're good at it. You know what I Under the proposals, pupils would... Oh, yeah, I did that. It will include the chance to gain work experience and create connections with local employers, Burnham said, with the government saying that the policy will eventually drive down the amount of spent on welfare for young people. Will it, though? Will it, though? Do you want to see the debt clock again? Do you think that's going to have any impact on this? That is the debt clock. That is the debt clock. Is he going to make any impact on that at all? And that's just... I think that is just government debt. I don't think that's like private debt. Private debt's probably worse than that. I don't know. It probably is, though. It's probably worse than that, to be fair. Where are we? It will include a chance to get... Yeah. While some business leaders welcome the move, others said youth jobs could be boosted by other means. So this is the people they should really be listening to, the people who employ youth. These are actually the people who they should be talking to. Andy Burnham and his crew, right, should be going to the local businesses and saying to them, what do we need to do to encourage you to employ young people? What should we do? Because they haven't got a fucking clue, you know. They haven't got a clue at all. I don't think any of these people run a business or have ran a business. I don't think any of them have. But do they go to these businesses and ask them what they should do? I don't think so. John White, Chief Financial Officer at building materials firm Hughes Gray, said employers were struggling with the lack of incentives to hire younger people, pointing to the government narrowing the gap between the national minimum wage for under 21s and the national living wage. He also said the government should change the rules around how employers can spend their apprenticeship levy. The levy is paid by big employers, with the money raised available to all businesses to help fund apprenticeship training. But White said businesses should be allowed to use it to pay young people's wages as well. For schools, the Association of School and College Leaders said they welcome the Prime Minister's ambition, but warn that schools could face capacity issues as they continue to face tight budgets and implemented radical reforms to special education needs. Yeah, because everybody's got special needs now, haven't they? That's not like my day. No. I might have been dyslexic, but I was just, who knows? I might have been all sorts of things. OCHD or, what's the other one? What's that? OMD. Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. I might have had one of them conditions. You can never tell, can you? Well, I've got some. 2 million laughs, guys. Yeah, too many. The National Education Union said the new proposals would hit the skids unless there is sufficient investment in schools. Where's the money? We're giving it to the Ukraine, aren't we? Of course we are. Why not? Why wouldn't we? We're giving them billions, don't forget. And don't forget the illegals. Don't forget them. Don't forget all the money, all the tens of millions every day that's being spent on illegal immigrants. Don't forget that. Don't forget them. No. That's fine. It's fine. And we need money for this. And then Elon Musk says it's no point anyway, because AI is going to take over. Fucking hell. Sufficient investment in schools. Whilst the NHAT School Leaders Union called for greater clarity about funding and practical details. See, it's all right, these politicians like Andy Burnham saying these statements. But then all the people around it all, in the industries and stuff, and in the education, they all start asking questions. It pricks their ears up and they're like, well, okay, it sounds right, but how are we going to do it? And Andy Burnham, obviously, his answer is...
Imagine no more.
Just imagine it. Imagine it. That's all. That's it, imagine it. See you later. Bye. You know what I mean? That's it. Along with the changes to learning, Ofsted will change the way it measures performance and will inspect for technical education. But it is not clear how, it's not clear how this will fit alongside national measures designed to hold schools to account. Today's announcement is the latest in a series of policies in recent years designed to offer vocational route in education as a counterbalance to high numbers of young people going to university. But they made them go to university. Blair did that, didn't he? Everybody wanted everybody to go to university. Of course they did, because they were going to lend them the money to do it. When you look at it, that was all it was about. Getting loads of people. They want everybody in debt. Once you're in debt, you are a slave to it. You are an absolute slave to debt once you're in it. And there's nothing you can do about it unless you go bankrupt or you refuse to pay, because you just can't. And then you have stuff taken from you. Do you know what I mean? Because the thing about borrowing is you're borrowing on future earnings. And in my world where I live, I can't guarantee I'm going to make any money next week, tomorrow. You know what I mean? I can't, so I don't borrow. Because I can't guarantee, because I can't borrow for future when I don't know if I'm going to be earning in the future. And these days, it's not like once upon a time you could have a job, like you could be in a bank and you knew you had a job for life. No, but them days are long gone. And again, with the AI, you've got to worry even more about the career path you've taken, because how long is it going to be before AI takes over your job, and then you're cast out because they don't care about you. Nobody cares. Sad but true. Get used to it if you're not. Tuesday's announcement is the latest in a series of policies in recent years designed to offer vocational... Oh, sorry, I know I did it. I know. Former Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer previously said a technical education should be valued as much as a university degree. Have you seen some of the degrees these days? Scrapping Labour's previous ambition to get half of children to university. They're like Edwina Curry, aren't they? One minute the eggs are good for you, the next minute Edwina Curry's telling you the eggs are dangerous. They're doing that again, by the way. They're saying that eggs give you heart problems. No, that's called mRNA. That's called that. That's them. That's giving you that. Not the eggs. It's not the eggs. In 2020, T-levels, I don't know what they are. I know what the T-birds were. They were in Greece, weren't they? Great film, wasn't it? T-levels were introduced as a technical education alternative to A-levels in England, with courses including construction, agriculture and health. Starmer announced earlier this year that V-levels would be an additional vocational option for students post-16 from 2027. Where T-levels are... Why do they make all this stuff? Why don't you just... Look, this is the way you got to do it, in my opinion, right? So, homeschooling is absolutely the answer, to be honest. If you can homeschool your children, homeschool, everything's there. There is everything there if you want to homeschool, right? And you ain't got to go through, they're not in the indoctrination system. You can actually let your children be children and follow how they want to be. Like, so if one of them's really arty, take them to art galleries, take them to pottery classes, take them to all sorts of things. If one of them's very musical, buy them an instrument, focus on that. You know, if they're going to make music and learn how to read music and all that sort of stuff. If they're into maths, then do things with mathematically. If they're into history, geography, whatever they're into, technology, then focus on that. And if they move away from that as they get a bit older, then follow where they go. And at the same time, it's not, you know, if you can do that, in my opinion, home education is the absolute best, home ed. If you can't do that, then you've got, they're in the system, aren't they? They're in the system. They're going to get the education that's just given to them, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when you look at country sort of people that have got really wealthy people with millions and millions of pounds, when they send their children away to boarding school, right? They don't send them away to learn how to get a job. That's not what rich people do. Rich people don't send their children away to learn so they can have an education to get a job. They send their children away so they become job creators and leaders in industry and things like that. And for the networking, because you meet people when you're in them circles, and that as you get older, you know this guy and that guy and the rest of it. So you know, whatever industry you end up in or you create, then, but it's a whole different level. It's a whole different level. Do you know what I mean? But they don't tell you all this because we're just plebs. And what? So yeah, the easiest way to do education, yeah, the easiest way if you're going to have people go to school, in my opinion, is right. So you teach them all the basics. You teach them reading, writing, arithmetic, geography, history, very important. The real history, right? The history of the country, patriotism, all that sort of stuff, right? And then what you do is, as they go along and they get tested, the ones that are really bright, they should move through the education system to higher levels of education because they adapt to it better and their brains are more attuned to it or whatever. But that's how it should be, in my opinion. You shouldn't have to you shouldn't have thousands of people going to university getting degrees in, I don't know, gender studies. Do you know what I mean? There's only 2 genders. Why do you need to study that? Yeah. So you get this pointless degree, like a degree in David Beckham or something. You know what I mean? What's that about? I have no idea. But if you're going to get, so you don't need to be, people don't need to be wasting their time with all that. They just need to learn something that will help them have a job, because that's what they're going to do. Work in a supermarket or work in a shop, or they're going to be on a building site, or they're going to be, I don't know, a traffic warden, who knows, right? But for those of them that are really clever, they should be able to take tests and then move through the education system up to higher levels in education. Not through because of money, but because of intellect and IQ and all that. So if you get a student that's really, got the aptitude and they're really clever and streets ahead, they should absolutely go through the education system because it's a benefit to the country. These people, we want these high educated people because they become innovators and stuff. But it's not like that, is it? It's not, because everybody's got to be equal, haven't they? It's equal. We've all got to be equality. Well, it's not equal, is it? Some people are just downright stupid, and some people are absolutely some people haven't got common sense, but they're genius, at other things. And that's how I think the education system should be founded on. I think that's how it used to be. I think that's how it should be. It should be on merit. It's like if you're an athlete. Do you know what I mean? If you're an athlete, you should be able to progress because you're a great athlete. It's exactly the same thing. Go through and carry on and be pushed and helped, not having to pay. But they don't, do they? Because they're clueless. They just make all these terms that everybody's got to learn. This T level and this V level and all this, because they've got a job to do. They've got to justify their position and their wages. So they have to come up with all this stuff to make it sound clever and interesting. And, we know what we're doing. I'm in the education department. I know exactly what we're doing. This is why you pay me 80 grand a year or whatever it is they get paid. So in 2020, T-levels were introduced as a technical education alternative to A-levels in England, with courses including construction, agriculture and health. Starmer announced earlier this year that V-levels would be an additional vocational option for students post-16 from 2027, where T-levels are set course broadly equivalent to 3 A-levels. V-levels would be equivalent to 1 A-level, following students to a mix and match academic and vocational subjects. Why change it? So this is equivalent to that. Well, why did you change it? What's the point? Oh, you got to justify your job. Oh yeah, I remember. The changes announced on Tuesday will only impact England, but improving access to technical and vocational education has become a common focus for governments in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. to in recent years. The policy will build on local initiatives like the MBAC, or Greater Manchester Baccalaureate, which was launched in September 2024 by Burnham when he was the city's mayor. He's still carrying on like he's a mayor, isn't he? It provided a framework for pupils to pick GCSE subjects in both academic and technical subjects, which align with growing local industries like green energy or digital. Teenagers under this programme have also been promised more careers, advice and work experience that links to 7 sectors of work. Education Secretary Lucy Powell said the announcement marked the start of a real shared effort with employers, businesses, mayors and councils to design an education system that connects young people to jobs and careers in their local area. Again, how long have we had MPs? For hundreds of years, isn't it? We've had MPs in government for a long time. Why haven't they already got this down? They know people have to get a job. Why isn't all this already done? Why? These people have... There's been governments and civil servants and all these things. Why isn't it still fixed at this point in 2026? Where we're coming to the point where education is going to be irrelevant because of AI. And they still haven't sorted it. It's unbelievable. Well, it's not really, is it? In May, an interim report by former Alan Milburn warned the number of young people not employed, educational training risks leading to a lost generation. That report was published the same day as figures from the Office for National Statistics showed more than 1 in 8 of UK 16 to 24-year-olds were NEET, and at the start of this year. Milburn said the changes announced by Burnham were consistent with the findings of my review. Liberal Democrat education spokesperson Maria Wilson said there had to be provisions to allow pupils flexibility to change direction and move between academic and technical. We must not allow these changes to predetermine children's futures at just 14, baking in disadvantage, she added. Yeah, whatever. But you can see the problem. There's those, when it comes to all this, you've got politicians who don't know what they're doing. You've got people that are making up systems within certain, like the education area, for example, to justify their job. Do you know what I mean? What do you do here, mate? What, mate? What do you do here? You've been working here some time. We pay you quite a lot of money. What do you actually do here? I'll work out the programme to move from A levels to... I'm working on a thing where you get a V level. All right. What's that then? Oh, it's very important. Is it? So what's a V level? Well, it's basically you've got 3 A levels. Well, why don't we just keep 3 A levels then? No, that ain't going to work. You want a V. You need a V level. Okay, why? Because it stands for vocationary. Okay, remind me again why I'm fucking paying you. Can you imagine running a company like that? Unbelievable. Andrea is here, everybody. How you doing, mate? Hope you're alright. Hope it's not too hot for you. So anyway, so then we go into the wider picture of the world, I suppose, and we go over to this one. Zelensky to press Trump on air defences while in Washington. Yeah, so I wonder how that all went with Zelensky and the Trumpster. I don't know. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky is due to hold important talks with US President Donald Trump at the White House, where he is hoping to firm up commitments to bolstering Kiev's anti-ballistic missile defences. Zelensky has arrived in the US at a significant stage in Russia's full-scale war in Ukraine, with Moscow's mayor saying the capital was targeted by 390 drones in a matter of hours overnight. Probably with them things that Britain's given them so they couldn't detect them, you know what I mean? That's going to be useful. The Ukrainian leader is expected to press Trump over support he gave earlier this month for Kiev to be given a licence to produce Patriot interceptor missiles. The thing is, though, aren't they sort of questioning whether America's got enough missiles of their own at the minute because of the Iran war? I don't know, I'm just saying. That's apparently they're not paused it because they're running out of missiles. No, they paused it for some other reason. Yeah, because when Trump said that they'd won, he hadn't actually won, so they carried on fighting with Iran. And then when Trump said again that they'd won, they still hadn't actually won, so they carried on fighting again. So when then Trump said they'd won, they hadn't won, which is a bit odd, isn't it? Yeah, I'm the greatest president of all time. Yeah. When I say we're winning, I mean we're winning. Even though we're not winning, we're winning. Yeah, okay. Russia has escalated deadly ballistic missile attacks on Ukraine's capital recently, and Zelensky has said interceptors are urgently needed. Patriot missiles have been at the top of Zelensky's wish list for some time, but after the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, the US air defense interceptors are in very short supply. And they take years to manufacture, did you know? Yeah, years. Promising a license is one thing, but co-producing the highly sophisticated PAC-2 and PAC-3 interceptors on Ukrainian soil is another. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if I was Russian, I was in charge of the Russian military and, like, attacks and all that, and all of a sudden, then, like, the Ukraine were building these, like, they had these facilities to make all these rockets and stuff. I think I'd just use my hypersonic missiles to just blow them to bits before they get any too far with it. Bit like an anthill. Watching an anthill grow, and then it gets a bit big and you think, nah, and just stamp all over it. Well, I think that's what they're going to do, isn't it? Again, none of this makes no sense to me. Promising a lawyer. PAC-2 interceptors Ukraine soil is another because it involves a lengthy political, legal and technical process. A delegation from US manufacturer Raytheon visited Kiev last week, and Zelensky said the defence firm had expressed readiness to take our partnership to an even higher level. Yeah, because it's all about money, isn't it? More money. After he speaks with Zelensky, Trump will have another important meeting with Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah, the boss has turned up. So Zelensky's, because they got to work all this out, but you can't. I don't think Trump can make any sort of. And apparently, when Zelensky and then when Netanyahu turned up, they didn't. They went through the side doors, and it was all closed. The meetings were all closed meetings, right? So who knows what's gone on? Who knows what's being said? Obviously, we'll never know. It is the first time the two have met in person since the war on Iran started in late February. Zelensky and Netanyahu are in Washington to attend the funeral of Senator Lindsey Graham, who died this month, aged 71. That's very speculative as well, isn't it? I mean, obviously he might have died, but they said he died in Americano all of a sudden. Other people seem to think that the day before he was in Ukraine, visiting a munitions factory that got bombed. I don't know. You make your own mind out of it. Kiev has described Iran as Iran. Oh, right. So, yeah, Kiev has described Iran as direct accomplice to Russian aggression against Ukraine. So we're getting... Right, so is Iran going to strike Ukraine? I mean, they've got some pretty sophisticated missiles, you know. Long range. Are they going to do that? Imagine if that... What happens if Iran... Because Zelensky's attacking their ships or whatever he's doing and having a go at Iran. What if Iran turn around and go, okay, then, have that. Have that then. See how you like that? Oh, God. And Zelensky has said Ukrainian intelligence has evidence that Russia has shared satellite imagery with Tehran, enabling Iran to attack US military facilities and go... So basically... are they priming us up then? So Zelensky's going to talk Trump into the fact that Russia is behind a load of attacks, so then America is going to join in against Russia. Is that the play? Is that what's coming? I don't know. I don't know. Trump has said he will find out if it's true. I'll ask Putin about it. I'll ask Putin. Hello? Is that Putin? Yeah, look, what the fuck's this about you, like, sending all this imagery? Are you actually doing that? No, I'm not doing it. Okay, cheers. See you later. What the fuck? What? You what?
What?
Yeah, isn't it? Odd. Yeah, I don't know. Putin has said he'll find out. Trump said, meanwhile, in Moscow, Major Sergei Sobyanin said more than 390 Ukrainian drones had targeted the region between 20:30 on Monday and 6:30 on Tuesday local time, and that most had been intercepted by air defences. Footage confirmed by BBC Verify showed damage to a high-rise building in Chekhov, south of the capital, and a fire at a warehouse in Berziki to the west. Local officials in Chekhov said there had been no casualties. Since Zelensky last spoke to Trump in early July, Ukraine has repeatedly targeted logistics hubs, many belonging to Russian e-commerce company Wilburys, exacerbating. Oh, shut up. British education for you. Exacerbating, I don't even know what that means. Exacerbating issues faced by small and medium-sized business in parts of Russia. Speaking at the Kremlin on Monday, President Vladimir Putin told members of Russia's parliament that doom. And remember what Burnham said. They said to Burnham, "What would you do if would you take a phone call from from Putin, Vladimir Putin?" And he was like, "Well, basically no, unless Vladimir Zelensky said it was all right to." Brilliant. That their country's enemies were resorting to terrorist methods against civilians but would never break the Russian people. We will achieve our objectives and will together do everything for victory for Russia, Putin said. At the weekend, he was confronted over the war's objectives by an ally, Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, who said the roots of the war were not understandable. Tokayev said a peace deal with Ukraine could be reached if the war was halted for negotiations to take place. Perhaps it is time to freeze this conflict and return to the Istanbul Formula too, Tokayev suggested, referring to talks that began shortly after Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said on Monday that freezing the war now was impossible given Kiev's position. So Russia's in it to win it. They're not stopping. They're not going to stop. It's just gonna get worse, isn't it? Really, it seems to me that way. Anyway, how long have we got? Oh, we're overdue. Oh no, I've run out of time. I was enjoying this as well. I mean, I'll just do this one for you quick then. I've got this one. Just very briefly. Trump claims US and Iran having friendly talks. Okay. The US president, however, threatened a return to strong military action if diplomacy with Tehran collapses. There's only a couple of paragraphs in this that I find really interesting. I'll get to it and we'll be done. The US and Iran are engaged in very friendly negotiations, US President Donald Trump has said, warning he could order a return to hostilities if diplomacy fails. Iran, meanwhile, denied having any direct talks with the US, but confirmed consultation with Oman, which has often acted as a mediator between the two. So again, yes, we're having very friendly communication. I and the Iranians, yes, very friendly communications. And then the Iranians go, we don't know what he's talking about. What's he talking about?
What?
Yeah, we ain't even speaking to him. What is he talking about? Oh, just remind me, mate, who's in the Epstein files?
Everyone!
Ah, yeah, they're all in there, aren't they? Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Anyway, that's me. I'm done. I'm GAZ X. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. I hope if you've watched it for the first time and you sort of think it was all right, give it a subscribe, please. Definitely give it a thumbs up. That would be nice. And it'd be nice to get a few more subscribers because I'm only a little YouTuber and it's only my hobby. It's just a hobby. I do it for fun, for the love of it. Anyway, it's been great to see you. Oh, but thank you for everybody in the live chat. Thank you for anybody that does subscribe or thumbs up and all that stuff. Thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow, live again, 7 o'clock. See what weirdness has gone on from then till then. From now till then. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, until then, peace, love, and I'm out of here.
We keep on moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down.
and show me how. Gotta do it right now, you know you gotta hold me down. Can I let the moment pass? Good things, they never last. Pull up in a whip, you know I had to hit the gas. Yeah, that's premium. Pull up with a team and I ain't worried about the other side. They know that they ain't beating. I'm on everything I love. Work to the man above. Keep it cool, calm, collected. At this point, you get the message. Life is hectic, but we gotta keep it rolling, no. Gotta keep it grooving, keep it moving like we stole it, though. Rolling with the punches, giving hits like we are Interscope. Even though I'm clocking, punching in, I'm independent, though. Staying prayed up, ain't nothing gon' phase us. Ain't never gon' let a lame say what they just made up. I never take a pay cut, we getting what we worth in. I never change the blueprint, cause we know it's really working.
Keep on moving,
Moving,
we keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down,
Keep
never
on moving,
moving.
we keep on moving along.
Keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't
Keep it rolling, keep
slowing
it moving,
it
we
down.
ain't never gonna lose it. Cause we in it for the movement. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Don't play into their amusement. If we trying, we ain't dying. Never sleep, never, never sleep, never. The moment that you rest your head, they think they can't compete. If you gotta skip steps, then the plan is not complete. Get your reps in, get your reps in, get your. Never rest on a past success. You gotta love what you do if you tryna be the best.
Keep on moving,
Moving,
we keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down, never
Moving,
moving.
we keep on moving
Keep it
along.
moving, keep it moving, keep it
Rolling.
rolling.
No, we
Keep
ain't
it rolling, keep it
slowing
moving. We ain't never gonna lose it.
Who's been to Epstein?